Welcome back. Many students are reluctant to leave their phones outside of the classroom, but one school principal has come up with an idea to change that. Carl Hegarty from Leinster Senior College in County Kildare invented transparent boxes to hang on his students' lockers for them to drop their phone into. He says their results have already hugely improved. Carl joins us now alongside one of his students, Eddie Allen. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
What a fantastic idea. Number one, how much of an interference were the mobile phones in day-to-day school life?
Yeah, well, I'd be kind of conscious of looking at the students, and they'd have their phones, and sometimes they might even have them in the hallways and so on. And what I was kind of even speaking on the radio there the other day, like sometimes if you don't see it, doesn't mean it's not necessarily a problem. So an awful lot of students would even have the phone in their pocket. And I know myself, even when I'm doing various interviews or talks and so on, that if the phone is buzzing in your pocket, it can still be a distraction, you know. So definitely, absolutely, it's a major distraction in schools. And
also, as principal, were you having to confiscate phones during the day? I mean, you can end up with 15 phones on your desk.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, usually the teachers would confiscate it first, and my heart goes out to the teachers, because it's up to the teachers then for classroom management, because they have to decide if there's one or two students down the back of the class on the phone, are they going to disrupt the class, or are they going to continue on with the class and maybe speak to them at the end. Then they're speaking to them at the end, so there's a conflict there for starters. Then the conflict gets to my door, where the phone is brought into me and I'm keeping it for the day. So really what I want the teachers to do is to teach. And what I want to do as a principal, and I'm a career guidance counsellor as well, I want to be talking about courses and what they want to do next. And so I don't want to be kind of my time being consumed talking about, you know, what you're doing with your mobile phone.
And what are students doing on their phone? Are they WhatsApping each other? Are they looking at social media? What are they doing?
Absolutely. I think all of the above. I think it is an addiction, really. That's it, you know. So, no, I think this is a good idea, and it's a good policy, and it just seems to be working.
So when did you say, right, we have to do something about this? I can't take it anymore. It's too frustrating, and we need something that's going to work in terms of keeping the phone at bay.
Yeah, I don't believe the problem was any more of a major problem in my school than any other school.
Yeah.
But I suppose I just got fed up signing off on a policy where I felt it just wasn't working. Our policy was that they're meant to have the phone in the locker, and I was conscious that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea, and it just seems to be working really well.
So this Perspex box, you got made in China.
I did, yeah.
And it fits on top. Is it actually fixed to the student's locker?
Yeah, to the front of the student's locker, yeah, with just 2 or 4 screws, depending on how secure you want it.
I see.
Yeah.
How did students react? Eddie, I might ask you, when you heard your principal was going to introduce this idea, what was the reception like in school?
I was a bit apprehensive at first, definitely. Like, I wasn't really sure, was it going to work? Like, the whole idea of it, that the way to have their phone displayed and everyone could see it the whole time. But definitely over time now, it's grown, like.
What was that reluctance? Was it that you felt your phone was a bit exposed, that someone might rob it, or see what type of phone you used, or what was the idea there?
No, it was less that I couldn't be on it nearly one stage. That was actually that, you know, like the insecurity, not having it the whole time in your pocket or having it on your person all the time is just.
And would you have checked your phone during class time?
Yeah, in my old school, definitely it was like a thing that you'd know where to put your phone and that you'd have it in your pocket, and then you'd be taking it out in class and stuff like that. So.
I just can't, because I didn't get a mobile phone until I was in college. I can't even imagine that you could be there literally looking. And what would you be doing? Were you texting people on the other side of the classroom?
It was even just checking social media. It could be texting people in different schools, putting things on your story, on Snapchat, Instagram, stuff like that. Like.
Oh my gosh. In terms of the improvement that you saw, Carl, it's really interesting because you were saying, like, results have gotten better even.
Yeah.
Like,
no, absolutely. I mean, it's like the students are just an awful lot more focused, and the concentration seems to be an awful lot better. You know, on top of the stairs, I have the best way to predict your future is to create it. So when the students come into my school, that's what they see, and we're trying to create a culture of success. Like I continuously say to students as well, a grain of rice will tip the scale. Like you have Eddie here who's trying to do veterinary, and it's very high points. And it'd be an injustice on my part if I wasn't to try and provide an environment that's going to help him out in the best way I can.
Wow, that's really interesting. Any negatives to the introduction of the Perspex boxes?
Well, Eddie said to me just on the way up, you mentioned that, like, what did you say to me on the way up?
About, like, some people might be a bit phone jealous, kind of in that kind of perspective. Like, some people have the newer iPhones or less iPhones, stuff like that. Some people will be a bit jealous of the phone types you have. Because
you said when you initially saw it looked like a phone shop down the corridor, and you can see who's got the brand new one and who's on kind of the more bog standard. Yeah, were you worried about that? I mean, are there any students who maybe don't have phones?
Yeah, well, like, there is actually some students that don't bring a phone to school at all. You know, so that's kind of an opportunity for principals when they meet the students at the start of the year, where they can have that conversation with the student and the parents can sign off then on whether the student is going to have a phone or not. Because I know any students that are going into school, the principal gets an opportunity to meet the student. I would anyway, and then you can sign off whether they're going to have a phone or not. So when you see that there's no phone in their box, then obviously that makes sense then.
You said as well you could see that even during lunchtime, some students weren't actually automatically going for the phone, and you said they were talking to each other the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's great to see, because maybe now the priorities have changed a little bit now, and they're saying to themselves, well, maybe there's no need for me to take it out of the Perspex box, and I'll go and get my lunch instead, or I'll go and talk to their friends. So it's not maybe as much as a priority because it's not on them, you know. So,
Eddie, did you notice any change in the atmosphere?
Yeah, like firstly, the atmosphere of like the whole studying and stuff in school was way improved, like, because you didn't have to worry about your phone if it was going to go off in your pocket, that you're going to get caught with a phone. You could put it in the clear box, and then the principal or the teacher could see that you had your phone in the box in the safe place.
Yeah.
So you weren't really worrying about them. And then even with like social interaction with the other students, like, has improved so much. Like, you actually go out and talk. You don't take your phone out at lunchtime and stuff like that. So you're actually getting back to old-fashioned talking.
Wow.
With people. So
it's hard to argue against this. It seems like such a good idea. Have you found any interest from other principals?
yeah, no, I have absolutely, and I have found a couple of principals that contact me, and on Eddie's point there, like, change is, like, you know, mandatory, growth is optional, you know, and things have changed in the last 8 to 10 years. You know, phones have came in more and more, and like, I'd ask, like, what have schools done about it to counteract it? I don't think really anything's been done, and this definitely, I think, is a step in the right direction.
But there is a role for technology as well, and you know, you are preparing young adults for the outside world, so I guess you need to educate them on that as well.
True.
So there is a role for technology in the school
and I don't
environment.
want to come across as a dinosaur, and absolutely, there's huge advantage to technology. Now, what I kind of set up in my school is that where the teacher can say to me that they're going to be bringing their phones in to use for French class or German class and so on. So then I'm aware that there's going to be 20 phones missing from the phone boxes. So yeah, but I think it just needs to be used sparingly.
Is there a business opportunity in this, do you think?
Who knows? We just have to watch this space. But I have got a good few phone calls in the last couple of days, all right. So I actually, to be totally honest, I really don't have the time. I'm a career guidance counsellor and a principal. So Jerry Ryan, who's a study supervisor in the school, he's helped me out great, big time with it. So he's a little bit more time than I have, so I'm going to pass a good bit of the work on to him, I think.
Well, congratulations, Carl. It's a fantastic idea. And Eddie, we wish you the best of luck in your goal to be a vet down the line. Lovely to meet you both this morning. Now, still to come, we will be joined by one of Ireland's most loved rugby players. Tommy Bowe will be here to chat about life after rugby and what Christmas is like in the Bowe household. That's coming up in just a few moments.